Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy Sophisticated Jerk and M3.
What's up, y'all?
So today, man, we got some couple of videos we gonna break down. So the first one we gonna jump into, man, is the one with former NBA player Ben McLemore was sentenced to 8 years in prison for grape. So I think he was at another NBA player's house. You know, they was drinking, partying, and all that. And I think he started having some sexual relations with a girl that was like very heavily intoxicated.
Oh,
And she filed some allegations that, you know, he took advantage of her where she was unconscious and all that. So we're gonna look at it. I got a couple clips. And of course, I want to ask some questions and stuff, but let me go ahead and cue those up. But yeah, this is why, you know, my opinion, and I'm gonna ask you real quick, M3, before we jump in it. Do you think like because it seems like if you look at most of the stats, I think like 40% of like SAs, sexual assaults and stuff happen, you know, when people are drinking and hanging out. So do you think like men should, you know, stop drinking with females and stuff like that? Or, you know, just minimal amount, like, hey, maybe 2 drinks. Like, look, you got to go home. Don't go to like the next stage if there's like alcohol, you know, in the mix. Even if she's like, say she comes on to you, it's just like, hey, you know what, man, you've been drinking. You know, let me get you an Uber or something like that. I'm not gonna take that risk.
yeah. I say like in cases like this, and this is just like for any guy. You could be, you know, this dumb athlete, or you could be like a regular guy. I think when it comes to like these wild parties, and especially like when alcohol is like in a mix or on the table, you should never be alone with a woman drinking. That's my personal opinion to it. And the reason why I'm
Okay.
saying this is because like, yeah, y'all might be into the moment, but once you guys both drink, it don't matter if you drunk something and or she drunk something. The moment somebody starts drinking, or the moment she has her drink, you know, whether a guy was sober or not, once you start having sex, now it's looking at as like, okay, you took advantage of her. You didn't really get her full consent while she's sober. And then that's gonna really get you like into like, you know, serious trouble and very dire consequences because like you put yourself in that situation knowing that is you might as well it's damn near illegal, right? To sleep with someone while they're intoxicated.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. That's a good point. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it's looking at all these cases that's coming out. It's just, man, don't even take that risk. You know, even if you, like you said, I like what you said. Even if you've been drinking, it's just like, hey, man, like, nah, we're good. Like, here's my number, man. Hit me up the next day, and man, we'll go hang out and shit pops off. Then we're good. But in that moment when y'all both been drinking, yeah, you better just like leave that alone. And like I said, just part ways. Make sure that person gets home safe, and don't leave it alone. Because yeah, my homeboy right here got eight off of this bad decision making and maneuvering bad. So yeah, no, I think guys got to be more cautious about this stuff. So that's why I did want to review this clip. So now, good point, M3. Let me jump into this though.
Was there any point along the way that you thought
Former Trailblazer Ben McLemore took the stand in his defense on Thursday, telling his version of what happened at a house party where he was accused of raping a woman after a night of drinking. McLemore says the evening began with bowling before team members met at Robert Covington's Lake Oswego home for cards and drinking.
But
Yeah,
I was
that's a
just,
nice ass area.
just being there and just enjoying the night and just, having that time with my teammates and stuff.
McLemore testified he encountered the alleged victim in the bathroom after some of her friends asked him to help move.
Yeah, if she's like that in that state, she's drunk as fuck. So it should have been no way like you should mess with
Oh,
somebody that's like, you know, in this kind of state. So yeah, she's definitely intoxicated heavily. So
wait, my question is who took the picture of her?
yeah, I don't know. Maybe her friend.
Man.
her to the couch
And it said 1:43 a.m. So
because she was intoxicated. McLemore said he eventually fell asleep on that same couch and then woke up a few hours later with that woman's hands down his pants.
Fondling me and basically arousing me. So that's what pretty much woke me up. Again, I'm in deep sleep.
That's when McLemore says he began having sex with a woman, an encounter he describes as consensual.
She didn't show no signs of distress or discomfort, and didn't, give me no signs at all or alertness of that.
McLemore says that he and the alleged victim never spoke with each other before, during, or after the encounter, and he left Covington's house immediately after they had sex. During cross-examination, the prosecution argued the alleged victim never consented to sex with McLemore.
You did say on direct, it was one of the most terrible things I've ever done in my life.
Right.
Having sex with an unconscious woman would be one of the most terrible things, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't say unconscious, but that moment was me leaving without saying anything was definitely a terrible one.
The trial will continue tomorrow here in Clackamas County with more experts and character witnesses expected to testify. Closing arguments could happen sometime next week. Back to you.
One thing.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back and
That's what
was that?
One thing I peeped, right? Whoever that woman was, I don't know if that was a judge or so, but the fact that she says like having sex with a unconscious woman is a terrible thing. Now, of course, she's not unconscious, dumbass, but but the thing is, why couldn't we have that same energy when someone is like putting like a pill like in these men's drinks, knocking them out, taking them for all what they got, their finances, the credit cards, whatever. I don't hear nobody else talking about how that's a terrible thing when a woman does it.
Yeah, it needs to be it should be zero tolerance across the board, but in this case, even if she wasn't unconscious, like, man, when you look at these photos, she's definitely fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's where he messed up, because it's like, man, when they had the picture with her at the toilet, now knocked out on the couch like this. So yeah, that's where, even if somebody like you said, is not totally out of it and they grabbing you and stuff, it's just like, man, if you see the state where everybody had to put her down, like, yeah, you don't go near that,
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I would say, man, people got to get better at protecting your friends, because it's just like, man, if you're in this, you have a friend that's drunk, man, people, you should be like, if say like she's got to lay down on the couch, man, you sit around your friend and you watch them, make sure like nobody come around and stuff. And even the guys, it's just like, nah, man, we'll put her, nobody get around the couch. You damn near have a guard on that, around that person. So that's where they messed up. Like, because he said he was sitting on the couch with her and stuff. And it's different if you're like watching over that person. You're like, nah, man, stay away. She's resting. We're going to get her some coffee and stuff. But yeah, man, when somebody's just drunk and they disintoxicated and they got that appearance, man, you don't, man, wait till the next day. Like, hey, hit me up. We'll go kick it or come over. But yeah, you see how he got them years and stuff. So it ain't nothing to play around with, man.
Yeah,
you never want to be in that position where you explain yourself. What was that?
To be honest with you, like, I really, when I look at these photos and just the way how like the angles are just so positioned well, like for it to be captured. Let's just say that was like her friends, right? Who took those pictures? I kind of feel like the woman kind of like, I ain't gonna say she got drunk deliberately, right? But I feel like it's like one of those like, okay, just in case if I could bag me some money or whatever, I need you to take these photos of me interacting with this person so I could get him for what he got. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know, like, it doesn't really make sense. One of them had to be sober for sure. Be like, oh, let me take a picture of you while you're vomiting. Let me take a picture of while you're laying down, intoxicated. Let me just make sure I can just capture some type of proof in case something happens. I mean, it's smart to do that type of stuff, but also kind of feel like they have some type of like motive, or agenda.
Yeah, I think nowadays, man, people just film everything. But I mean, that could be a whole nother. I mean, you could be onto something because I mean, it was at Robert Covington's house, so that's another like NBA player. So it's like when you at a party with celebrities, man, you could be a target. So, but that's why you got to maneuver even more cautiously because it's like, man, if it's like, hey, we got all these multi-millionaires here, man, we can't be on no fuckery. So that's why, like, if it was my house, boy, I see somebody, hey, look, take one of y'all go home with your friend. We gonna get y'all Uber. we getting you up out of there. Like, if they knocked out on the couch, hey, none of y'all better go over there near that couch. Like, I'll be standing guard. So, cause it's just like, I'm not gonna let no, bullshit happen at my house. Like, it'd be like, man, we could all hang out, have a party, but as soon as I see somebody getting a little too, like, nah, you got to get up out of here. I'm going to make sure you get home safely. Here's the Uber. Like, because like you said, there's going to be lawsuits. And if somebody, like you said, they could be like trying to deliberately do stuff. And if something like that happens, now, man, you could get caught up. So, yeah, guys just got to kind of start taking that in mind. It's like, man, you just be cautious because you don't know what could happen. But I mean, like you said, yeah, that could be a possibility because they are rich men. So it's like, man, rich men do get targeted, But let me play this other one because this is where he's getting sentenced. And this is where it's just, it shows the serious nature of this type of stuff.
Portland Trailblazer is set to spend more than 8 years in prison after he was found guilty of rape during his time with the team.
In court today, the victim spoke just before the judge handed down his sentence.
This has been the longest 4 years of my life.
8 years and 4 months. That's how long Ben McLemore will be in prison after being found guilty of raping a woman at a house party back in 2021. It happened while the 32-year-old was on the Portland Trailblazers team at the Lake Oswego home of his then teammate, Robert Covington.
I've had to continue on with my life with a piece of it left unresolved. These last few years have often felt like a weight that I've had to drag behind me, a constant reminder of the trauma that I haven't fully been able to work through because there was no ending in sight.
He wasn't arrested and indicted until just last year. And today, the victim addressed the court, speaking about the years-long process it took for justice to be served.
This experience has taken an immense toll on my emotional and mental health. It's changed me in ways that I've never expected, and yet I've carried this burden in silence. Thanks to the jury's verdict, I can finally feel a weight being lifted, a weight that I've carried for far too long. And while I can't truly describe the relief that I feel, I know that today I stand a little taller and a little freer.
McLemore was found guilty of several charges, including first-degree rape, despite his claims that the sexual encounter was consensual.
He used my vulnerability against me and then had the audacity to lie about the disgusting act that he committed.
The victim said in court today that she hopes this trial will be a testament that no one is above the law, no matter their status.
So many times we hear about people in positions of power or fame avoiding accountability, but I knew that no matter how famous Mr. McLemore was or how much he may have loved and respected his family, he was still capable of hurting someone else.
McLemore was also sentenced to 11 and a half years of post-prison supervision and will have to register as a sex offender.
Damn, that's a lot of time and stuff. Now, I think she might be a little more legit because, typically, man, people be filing like civil lawsuits, but it seemed like she went to the legal route, didn't file any like civil lawsuits. So typically, like when people, I would say it's pretty legitimate. Then, like she wasn't out to gain no finances or nothing like that. But I mean, that's why just regardless, man, you got to maneuver like better than this, man. So like I said, man, I hate that these stories happen, but I do think, man, we should learn from them. And, like I said, guys, we just got to get better at it. Like, man, at these parties and stuff, like, man, if people been drinking, man, just, man, holla at them tomorrow, man. So you don't get caught up in no stuff, overstep no boundaries and stuff. Cause yeah, you don't want to be in no trial and, like he got them 8 years and stuff. And, this dude got the best of lawyers. So it ain't no game out here.
Right. But I will forever like expect the worst from these athletes. Like Well, I think what bothers me, right? If I can put all my words in together, there's been like athlete from one athlete to the next, whether it be you're as old as Shannon Sharp or as young as this guy right there. That's facing time, that is, you know, losing millions. It's like you put yourself in a career that I'll say like millions of people will wish that it could be on. So like you're in a spot where it's like a one chance of a lifetime for you to even make it to the NBA, to even have like the genetics that he has and the talent and skills, and you throw it all away for one dumb party with your other dumb athletes. And it's just like it's sad that you went from, hey man, I made out from wherever I came from to now like in prison. So you pretty much like threw your whole career away, your whole life. And then when you get out, you have no other mental talent or fortitude to do anything else. So it just kind of sad, like to like kind of like see people, put themselves like in that type of situation.
Yeah, man, because it's almost like, man, focus on your craft. Because, it's like, man, most people ain't gonna have a LeBron type career, man, where they playing like 20 years and, they getting max contracts. So it's just like, man, focus on your craft, put all your time, energy, man, get a girlfriend, or man, go to controlled parties like that, like ain't gonna be like a lot of shit. And man, just like have a couple drinks and bounce. You know what I'm saying? And I think if you maneuver like that, man, you'll be straight. But I think sometimes, like you were saying, them three people get that ego because it's like, oh man, I'm this person, and man, they start. It's like almost like they think they can never get in trouble or get caught up because I think they think in their mind like every female is gonna like me because I'm up here, and they don't understand like, man, you cross certain boundaries, man. Everybody ain't starstruck, so they they might put legal stuff on you and stuff like that. So it's just, man, yeah, you can't take no risk, man. You got to maneuver, especially like if you got your stuff together, like, hey man, I can't be involved in no nonsense. And you still, like I said, if somebody's like a female's like drinking and she's like stumbling, like, hey man, let's get this Uber, let's let's make sure they get home safe and stuff. So that way, man, you just know you ain't never gonna have no issues. You don't take no risks, no chances with, like you said, your livelihood on the line. Cause like you said, 8 years, man, you're done on that. And if he wasn't making that top tier money, like a lot of them guys, then probably paying for this like whole trial and stuff, he's gonna come out where he has some money, but that's gonna last him because he was only in his 30s. So it's just like, man, he might not be doing too well, like you said, because nobody's gonna want to really touch you with that type of allegation on you. So it's not like he could be a broadcaster and stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty much a wrap at that point.